Hey y'all, it's Taryn. It is Saturday, August 17th. Welcome. I hope y'all have had a good 3 weeks. It would have been 2 weeks, except for last Saturday. Dax and I got a wild hair up our butts and drove up to Waco to the Leather Crafters show. So, here I am now. I filmed this earlier today. It's now like 9:30 or so at night. I don't know. I filmed this much earlier, and when I finished, I accidentally deleted it. And I had like this margin of time that I was filming it in, and then I had to go deal with the bread dough that, that needed to rise and cook dinner and yada, yada, yada. And I knew if I didn't come back out here and do it, I would have not done anything until next week. I won't have time tomorrow. So here we are again. I had everything over here last time and I've moved it all over to here. So this time we're going to start and go that way. But anyway, I'll try to keep you informed of everything and see where it takes us. So, before I forget, last time I showed y'all my FFO of Ryan's birth sampler, if that's what you want to call it. I don't know. Is it a birth sampler? Is it a birth announcement? I don't know. But, I put the little hooks on it to hang his cowboy hat on, and Addison has hung it up and his cowboy hat is hanging on there, and it's freaking adorable. But I forgot to take a picture of it last weekend when we were over there. So I'll do that at some point. But here we go. Here's why. How freaking cute. I mean, I know I'm partial, but come on. And that look on his face. He does that stuff all the time. Right? He knows how to win Dax and I over. I guess it doesn't really matter about the rest of it. He's got us wrapped around his little finger, to say the least. Okay, stitching. I worked on my Paula Vaughn's Quilts for All Season. I did my new start on the first Sunday in August, which is the August quilt, and it's this one. If you're new here, I love quilts and I love Paula Vaughn. So there you have it. And here is where I got to on it. There's a little bug out here. It's driving me crazy. So, anyway, 2 flowers done. I thought that was a pretty decent start. So, from how I've been starting these, it wasn't bad at all. I don't know what to do with everything now, but I didn't want to move everything out of the tub that it's in. You know how that all goes. Okay, I have the chart for this one. I've got the picture, but I don't see my piece. This is not boding well for me recording today at all. It fell on the floor way back there. Okay. I worked on this from Heaven and Earth Designs, Cool Water, artwork by Mickey Sinkaric. I have no idea. Anyway, I love this. It didn't get very much done, but it's okay. I'm doing this on a 25 count. It's kind of like a gray, and I think it's Lugana. I'm really not sure. But I'm doing 1/1 full cross. And as you can see, nothing impressive yet. One day it will be. I've got stuff everywhere now. From Snowflower Diaries on her blog. These are free. The Joyful World Stitch Along. It's September. I really need to get this one done. I still have not FFO'd August's piece. I've got everything here. I just haven't sat down and done it. I've got the piece ironed and ready to be FFO'd. I just haven't done it. Anyway, here is where I am on September. I really need to get this done. I've put off working on it because my owls were too close together when I, put this one where it needed to be on here. And I couldn't figure things out, and I couldn't figure things out. And basically right here on this one, where it's 1, because all of my triangles are right, this triangle should have 2 at the bottom, so it should be 2 stitches wider than it is. That's why my owls weren't working. But in the process of that, I knew I was going to have to adjust this bottom row right here and the trees and stuff over here. But then I discovered that across the top here, I think most of the other ones have 33 stitches. I've counted this one twice or more. It's got 34 across the top. I had only done 33 on this side and then onto there, and I was not going to rip out all the border. I wasn't going to try to recenter things. So this is going to have to be adjusted to be the same amount of stitches away on this side, and quite frankly, I just didn't feel like dealing with it. So for the most part, I just let it sit there and chose anything else to work on. But last week I picked it up and I was like, okay, you're gonna have to get over this. And I went ahead with the border and finished the word September, and I'm running the border down this other side now over here so that I can, I've got it down far enough now so that I can count off and get it the same distance from the border as this side. It's ridiculous. That's what it is. Absolutely ridiculous. But I guess that's what we're doing these days, is ridiculous. When we went to Waco, to the Leather Crafters convention that was there, we just went to do their market, to shop and stuff. It had been going on for most of the week. I think Saturday is their last day, but they have classes and stuff, but you've got to, most of the classes are like 10 people, so you got to sign up way early for all of that kind of stuff. But some of the classes are kind of pricey, like $800 and stuff like that. But we went up there and we walked around where they were selling stuff, and we'd circled the place twice and looked at everything. And I bought a t-shirt. Dax bought a big piece of leather to just practice and mess around with. And twice we'd been through there, and Waco's like a 2-hour drive from us, and we managed to take a whole hour to go through the place twice. They did not have near as many vendors as they had last time, so that was a little disappointing. But we put the stuff in the car and walked across the street to eat Mexican food, which I had crawfish enchiladas, which were divine. They had a Cajun cream sauce on them. They were awesome. I loved them. And while we were eating lunch, Dax was like, I really think I want that. It's a knife to cut with. I can't think of what they call it right now, but it swivels. It's, the one he bought, well, you turn it with your hand like this, the swivel knife. And I said, okay. So we went back over there and bought that. And then we went to a place, and we had been there before, that is a bar that has the largest variety of whiskey in Texas. I think in the US they have the third most whiskeys. The first time we were there, it was fantastic. The bar staff was fantastic. They very knowledgeable, eager to help, explain, whatever you needed. They were wonderful. This time, we weren't sitting at the bar. We were sitting at some tables, and we ordered a drink that was on their little menu on the table, right? That's supposed to be their specialties or whatever, you know, their signature drink right now for the summer. And we knew it wasn't going to be the same experience when the server went back behind the bar and looked up how to make the drink. We were pretty sure we were in trouble at that point. But we had time to kill. The show didn't take as long as we thought it might. So we had our drink, and I had a different drink. I had a second drink, but I had something different, and it was really, really good. But we finished our drinks. Some people came in and sat at the table beside us. The 5 of them ordered food, ate their food, got to-go boxes, and nobody had been back by that time. It had been an hour since somebody had come by to see if we needed anything else, and I just wanted to cash out. An hour, and the only reason somebody came by is because it was shift change. So he was new and, you know, checking on everybody that was there to get a starting point for himself. If I was a different kind of person, I would have walked it. I would have walked the tab and been like, nope, I've been here for an hour and you have not even acknowledged me. But I was very disappointed because it had been such a wonderful experience the time before. And I don't know if the problem is because they've started offering food, and I don't think they had food service when we were in there before. It was just a bar, and they are spending a lot more time focused on the food than knowing their whiskeys or even what drinks they offer at this point, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, that was disappointing, but we had to get back from Waco because we were babysitting for Ryan, so we had to get back on time to do that. And that's always fun. Okay, I did stitch. I stitched more than those two. This isn't out of anything. A few years ago, these were some free patterns. It was by Easy. I can't find them online anymore. I've looked because other people were interested, and I can't find them. When I found them the first time, if I remember correctly, they were on a quilting blog, and they're not there anymore. But anyway, so there's one for each month. This is February's. I just have this little piece. This is March's. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. I've finished one, but honestly, I'm not sure it was January's. I think it might have been like June's or something. But this one had just the birdhouse, so I added in all of this other stuff. I kind of chose a color, like I picked the green and put it everywhere that it was, and then picked like the yellow and put it. There's another shade of green and another shade of yellow to fill in more, but that's what I had time to do. So that was fun. It's coming along pretty quickly. It would be easy enough to finish, but I can't, I don't want to finish all of the little stuff that I have because, you know, my list of 20 for this year is a lot of big things that aren't going to be finished this year, and looking at what will come forward next year for the few things that I have finished, there's going to be a lot more. I got to save some of the little things for later. It won't matter. They'll get finished before they make it to my list, but it's a nice thought, right? It's the mind games. You got to play the mind games. From Homespun Elegance, Delivering Floors. This was in a goodie box that Sherry Smith had sent. I have a lot of things that were from the goodie box from her, but this is one that it was a struggle because I have 2 leaves left to put on there, and then all I have left are the floors. There's one pink one and then these blue ones. I just wanted so badly to keep stitching on it, and again, I feel like, no, don't do that. And quite frankly, if I'm going to stitch heavily on something, it needs to be this one so that I can get it done. I'd really like to just go ahead. I have September's, November's, and December's to get done, and I would really like to just go ahead and get those done. From LaPointDeCroix.com. I don't think that's where I got mine. I think I got mine on Etsy, but I wouldn't swear. Be Mine. I worked on this one. I just love this. And here's where we are. This obviously is a page break right there. There's still quite a bit more back stitching that goes on her side. I think I've got her face all done and her hair and bow on this side. This time I came and added in more, finished adding in stuff for the bow. There was like one color of the brown that I had done on this side, so I filled in his hair some more, and the blue from the bow was in his eyes also. So I'm just working on that to avoid getting lines like where this page break is, to keep it from having a line as I add this other stuff. I run my thread under a few of these and carry it so that it doesn't leave a big empty, from the back side, a big empty column. Then that seems to be helping. Even on my full coverage stuff, I do that, and it seems to keep me from getting lines. Was not my idea. I saw somebody else talking about that, and I tried it, and it seems to work, so I shall not judge. From April 2018, just cross stitch. I'm doing the spring hair, and I'm pretty happy. This one's coming right along. This time I did the bird and the little flowers and back stitched all of that, and then I just did a tiny little back stitch on this other back foot. But I only have like there's a bird right there, and then like a bee right here, and back stitching. So I'm kind of excited. This one might actually work to be a finish. We'll see. And from, does that say Just Cross Stitch Magazine? Can't read. June 2016, I think is what it says. I worked on, okay, Shelly, look up. I worked on Summer and Chalk. And Shelly's going to be proud of me. Look at where I am. Y'all, I am getting so close. I have just like the yellow that comes, let's fold it, because this is where I worked. I only have the yellow that comes right around here left on the, and the S will be finished. So the whole word will be finished. I only have a little bit more to bring these leaves down. And then there's a flower here and a flower here and a little bit more on the little bee's trail, and I'll be done. So it probably won't come up in when I spin my wheel again, right, for the rest of the year. Anyway, So I felt good about that one. That felt like good progress to me. This is another Homespun Elegance. It's another one that came in my goodie box from Sherry. And I'm working on this one. The little sheep. And I had a note inside the chart that said that I had done like this tree branch or whatever, I don't know, maybe it's flowers, the stem and the branch, or the trunk and the branch, whatever. That's all I had put in last time, and I had a note inside that said I had used, because there's 3 charts in there, the note said I had used the wrong color key when I did that, so it was in the wrong color. So before I started stitching, I pulled all that out and put it back in, only to realize that I used the same wrong color key again. So I pulled that out and put it back in, and what I hope is the right color. Even if it's not, it's staying. But, so I got the grass done in that little trunk and branch, I guess. I do not have the sheep done, only his little face and legs. I'll be doing him in Whisper, so he'll be kind of fuzzy. But if you look, there really isn't a ton more stuff to be done. It's another one that I could probably get finished, but I guess if I get really itching for a new start, I can pull out some of these and finish them, so that then I can justify having a new start. Besides my quilts, I'm doing those each month, but anyway. From Design Works, Native American Fashion, and I am starting with this one. I stitched this way, so I'm starting over here, and I actually got a decent amount done on this one. I filled in all of this here, brought this down, you know, all of this is new, and did the black right around in here on the collar. So I was pretty excited about that. Like I said, I see progress, so that's good to me. And all of them, I feel like, well, I don't want to put that down. So I figured that's got to be a good thing, right? If you're picking up, unless, of course, you're mad at it and it's in time out. Then that one I didn't mind putting down because it was in trouble. From Butternut Road, I worked on, I think this is Earth Dancer. I always want to call it Earth Spirit, but I think it's Earth Dancer. And here is where we are on it. I think I'm doing this on a 28 count. 2/2, maybe. Anyway, I'm working down here on this. It's like a pottery jar that's down there. I've avoided going up and getting into her face because doing her hand right here with this 1/1, that's a lot, and I really don't want to do it again, but I'm also not going to pull that out. So that's my dilemma. So I'm just going to have to suck it up and do it. I'm afraid. I'm afraid that's what we're getting to here. Okay. I got to figure out what to do with this stuff, because it's getting way, way down there, deep to dig in. Trying not to make a huge mess. The other night, it was Monday night, I woke up. Dax got up to go to the bathroom. I sleep terrible most nights. I'm trying to get past that, but I sleep really good for a few hours, and then like 3 hours, and then I'm awake for an hour, and then go back to sleep or whatever. But Dax had gotten up and gone into the kitchen, and I figured he went to get a drink because he does that quite often. It's not unusual at all. And I was awake, and I waited. He didn't come back in. He didn't come back in. I'm like, well, that seems like it's been a really long time. But I still waited, and he still didn't come back in. So I was like, well, you know, is he okay? Is something wrong? So I decided, well, I should go check on him and see if he's okay. And so I went in the kitchen, and he wasn't in there. And so I went in the front room and to see if, like, he couldn't sleep and he was watching TV. He wasn't in there. I went into the other bedrooms, even though I had no expectation of him being in those, and he wasn't in either one of them. And I thought, well, did he come back in and go to the bathroom? And I just didn't realize. So I went back in our bedroom, looked in the master bathroom. He wasn't in there. Went and looked in our closet. He wasn't in there. And so I went back out by the bed, and I'm like, looked, and I was like, well, he put his shoes on. So I went and I checked the front door, and it was unlocked. So I'm like, yeah, what's going on? You know, did he hear something outside that I didn't hear or whatever? And so I went outside, and I'm walking down the sidewalk, and in the driveway I can see just a black spot on the ground, and I'm like, oh my God, he's gotten out here and passed out, or somebody killed him, you know. And I get out there, and he is in the middle of the driveway with on a lounge chair, you know, like by the pool lounge chairs, laying back, watching the meteor shower. I'm like, I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, watching the meteor shower. I said, I've been looking all over the place for you. And he's like, well, you came out here and you scared me to death. Like, whatever. I've been for 15 minutes looking for you. You scared me to death. It's like, and he's like, well, I couldn't tell you about it. You're already asleep. So, so anyway, that was a lot of fun. And of course, then I couldn't go back to sleep. And by the time he came back in, he fell asleep and was snoring like crazy. And I was still awake. So the next night, he's like, okay, if you wake up and I'm not in bed, I'm out looking at the meteors. But it was cloudy, so he didn't go out. I swear. But I love him. God knows I love him. Okay, from Homespun Elegance. This is another one from Sherry. Treats for Thee. And I already had this part done. And so this time, I just put in treats. I worked on this while we were on the way to Waco, and probably could have gotten a lot more done, except for all of the road construction made it really kind of hard to stitch. And I don't know how many times I hit a bump as I was putting the needle through, and so I had to pull it all back out. Anyway, the way the pattern is done, each letter's, it's green, red, and I just wanted it to all be the same, so I used variegated DMC number 75, and you can maybe see it's got some dark and like a brighter red down to a darker red. So I just decided I'm going to use that for the words, and that'll be fine. It'll be fine. I worked on Mirabilia Santa's Magic. Sorry. So here's where we are. You'd think I could get this together better since I've already done it once today. I just love this. Maybe you can see some of the sparkle in here from the Krynex. And anyway, this time I worked mostly filling in over here with these yellows and gold colors. It doesn't look like much, and as I finish this page, it's not going to look like much because I did, I just, you know how the patterns are this big, and where it was all folded up, that page where it was right here in the square, that's what I made a working copy of. So it's probably going to be a little bit of a frustration trying to get the next page copied and marking off what I've done and all of that. I'm trying to use nice words. I worked on Fancy Blackett's brooms from Pineberry Lane. This is another one from Sherry in the goodie box. And here is where I am on it. I worked a little bit on, I put in a little bit more on there. The part coming out, I think I still have a tiny bit more to go before I'm done with those. I think. I'll count them again when I pull it back out. But I wanted to get over there and work on Fancy. I do not, her face isn't in yet, but I wanted to work on her, so that's what I did. Right? What did they say? My stitching, my rules. I would turn that fan on that's back there. I'm dying right now. But the low speed on that fan will blow stuff. And while I'm trying to do this, it will blow things and probably sound like a helicopter or something in the video. So we don't want to do that. Out of Cross Stitcher, September 2016, I worked on Days of Gold. This is on my list of 20. As is the Santa Claus that's not going to get done. As is the Earth Dancer that's not going to get done. What else have I shown that's not going to get done? Anyway, this one also is on my list of 20 and is not going to get done, most likely. Here is where I am. This I am doing on a 28 count. It says it's Gray Mist, and I'm doing it 1/1. I don't know why I do that to myself, but here we are. This time I finished filling in this blue on the house and working on this little porch decking that goes around it. I think I put in these darker blue over here, but I don't really remember. So, if you're new here, I have a list of 20 projects that I would love to get finished every year. It's not a fancy list. Basically, it's my 20 oldest WIPs. And by the time they get to, my oldest 2 are from 2016. By the time they get to be the oldest, they're that old because they're big. That's why I was saying that it would be nice if I could push some little things there, but they get to be that old because they're big and take longer. Anyway, from Razor Roof Designs is Santa Claus. I have this one and turkey dressing, I think. I bought this. I love the play on words and all that. I bought this because when I was a kid, my dad used to tell a joke that he told it all the time because I would get like, no. What does a cat get when it goes to the beach? Sandy Claus. So it's not even a good joke, but I didn't like it because Santa Claus, not Sandy Claus. So that's why I had to get this one. But I finished the shorts. I had them about halfway done before from when I started it. So I got those finished and started putting in, I put in the clothespins and part of the line around the clothesline that they're hanging from. So I thought that was pretty, those are pretty cute. Just like with everything, I want to keep working on it. I just want to keep working on it. Things are falling now. Yeah, this went way better. Did you hear stuff fall? Oof. This went way better the first time that I taped it. I'm sorry, showing my age. The first time I recorded it, it went much, much more smoothly and probably made sense. But I looked, sorry, I'm dying. I really am. I looked everywhere trying to figure out if I could retrieve it, and it is nowhere to be found. I'm sure there's a way, but it's not one that it's not one I know how to get to. And apparently this computer that I'm recording on, that stuff is not set to go into the recycle bin. When you delete it, it permanently deletes it. I don't even know how to change that setting, but I was not happy about it. I can tell you that. From Stony Creek, I worked on Graveyard Halloween. This is this is stitched. See, it's past my bedtime, y'all. This is stitched on 14 count Charles Craft Ada in the colorway Grasshopper. I was looking at the little tag, and here is where we are. Maybe I could get some of this floss out of the way. This time I worked on and finished up this tombstone right there. Above it is this bird. These are all, those are buttons. But the bird is there. I need to get a floss to do the moon with. Gotten quite a bit done, but there's still plenty of stitching to go, to say the least. I worked on Glacier Bay, designed by Stitch Shots. There's a little cruise ship. Stitch Shots. And this is one that I'm stitching because if I can, places that Dax and I have been, I am trying to stitch some kind of little souvenir memory kind of thing. Little, maybe, I mean, it's not giant, but it's not like a little pillow either. But this is where I'm at. You can see I have these threads hanging here. Those are hanging because it was getting close to the edge of my hoop. So I just left them hanging because they'll continue. I stitched a lot of, I would just pick a blue and stitch where it went until my floss ran out. I love the little tabs on the corners so that it'll look like it's a photograph. So I think that's so cute. And I'm over here. There won't be anything fun for quite some time. Not at this rate, anyway. I worked on my Ukrainian ornament. This is also on my list of 20, which will not be completed this year. Oops. And here we are. I'm not even halfway yet. But I have, this was my third or fourth start on this one. So anyway, mostly I worked over here on this one. But progress is progress. This is another one that I could probably get done relatively quickly if I worked on it. Country scenes. I'm doing this buggy right here. Although, quite frankly, I like all three of them. But there's like, the wheels on that buggy are not filled in. There's like hardly any stitching on it. It should be a nice quick one. Quite frankly, probably should be able, if I sat down and really worked on it, get it done in a day. But Obviously, I have not done that. This is part of one of the wheels. This is the bottom of the buggy. And then this goes up to, that's part of the seat on it. That's pathetic for, I've worked on it twice, I think. That's just ridiculous. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm setting up another failure over here. I hope that's not too loud in there. Ruffled feathers. I think this is a Janlin design. Yes. I call it Rooster Pin because apparently I like to rename my projects. This is on my list of 20. No, it won't be done this year either. Here is where I am. I filled in some more of the black here, and you can see I got part of a chicken showing up and there for their colors that they have on them. It'd be this one here and this one. So there is a very long way to go. My rooster needle minder, which is absurdly large, but he's very lightweight, and I like him. And so he gets to stay. That's the end of my bag. That's all of my stitching. I did something else. I had done, is this it? Yes. Diamond painting. I did some diamond painting. Did these little cats. I've done, this one's finished. This one you can see where the cat halfway. And then only the white on this little cat is done. I think it, well, that little pink in his ears is done. Ryan was asleep in our bedroom and his mom was in the front room with Dax. She comes over on Sundays. Right now they watch Big Brother together. And I knew if he woke up, they wouldn't hear him in there. So I would sit at the table and play with diamond painting while he was sleeping so that I could sit and do something without falling asleep. But I bought these little square containers. And I don't remember where I got them. Temu, AliExpress, something like that. I bought a couple of packages of them. But with those, I just take it when I open it. And the package is in there with the number on it and everything. But I don't need this little tray because I can just open that and get them right out of there. And fortunately, this one doesn't have, this kit doesn't have like a million colors or anything, so it'll work out fine. These are little stickers. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I need to figure out a way to use them to make little ornaments or something for, I have a Christmas tree that I don't take down because I don't have anywhere to put it. So, I don't know. So maybe those can be like, you know, summer ornaments or anything. Right now, I don't think it has anything on it. Except lights. Okay. I think that is everything that I have worked on. I did look up Cynthia at the Intuitive Stitcher, asked me to, she wanted to know how many whips I had because I've been too lazy to count them for several months. So I did that for Cynthia. She has a Flosstube. If you haven't watched her, go over there and watch her. And subscribe to her. She's trying to reach 500 subscribers by the end of the year. So, go do that. Anyway, Cynthia. I counted at the end of July, I had 168 whips. Which probably I have 169 now because I started the August and I don't think I finished anything this month because I haven't gotten busy on that September thing. Maybe I finished August and July. Yeah, I haven't finished anything in August. So, by the end of July, I had touched 112 out of the 150 whips that I started the year with. I've had 3 finishes off of my list of 20. And overall, I've had 16 finishes total. And I ended July with a Stitch from Stash budget of $112.02. Apparently, I must do this on one year and off another. I either spend a lot of money or I don't. There doesn't seem to be an in-between. I'm either negative or way positive. So it's ridiculous. Last night, Dax and I went to San Antonio yesterday and piddled around, and we went to a couple of different bars and had drinks, and then went and ate, and then went to a concert last night. The Steve Miller Band, they were really good. Journey, they were really not. We were very disappointed. Dax loves Journey. That's one of the reasons, it's the main reason we went. And they were not good. And Def Leppard, they were good. Journey, sadly, they had the music too loud. And I know if it's too loud, you're too old. But it was so loud, it was distorting the music. You could barely hear the guy sing. He had to scream to even be able to try to be heard. And then, they had a 5-minute guitar solo in, what's the guy's name? Neil Sean? Something like that. In every song, in between songs. And it finally was just like, just quit, just shut up already. But overall, we had a good time. But when we, a couple of weeks before that, we had gone to San Antonio for the day because I had made reservations at Fogo de Chao. And so we went to Fogo de Chao to eat, and because our reservations were at like 5:45 on a Friday, we're like, we're not driving into San Antonio on a Friday at rush hour. So we went and spent the day pedaling around in San Antonio and went to dinner. And after dinner, we stopped at this little jazz bar that never has the same name twice. It's constantly being renamed. But we sat down and ordered a drink, but we were so full that we didn't even want to drink the drinks. And it's sad because mine was delicious. It was a caramel and banana martini with, I'm trying to think, yes, with cinnamon sprinkled on top, and it tasted fantastic. But I was so full. And we got home from doing that. It was like 11 or 11:30. And then last week, when we got back from Waco and babysat while Addison and Jacob went to dinner and a movie, they got home about midnight. And so we didn't get home until about 12:30. And then we went to this concert last night, and we didn't get home from that until like 1:30. So I told Dax we're not going anywhere next weekend because at this rate we'll get home at like 3 or 4 in the morning. And I really feel like I am aging out of that. I need time. I need rest. But we would have gotten home probably a half an hour earlier, except for leaving the concert from the parking lot where we were. We needed to turn left and go like a block and a half to the freeway to turn left to get on. They funneled everyone out of the parking lot to the right. We thought, okay, well, we'll go down there and then turn left so we can turn around. No left turn, because they're the cops. They're directing traffic and they have everything closed off. And so then all of this traffic leaving this concert from this particular parking lot. And that includes all of the Uber and Lyft and whoever else does the ride sharing stuff. It's the same. That's where they pick up people too, that same parking lot. They took what started as 3 rows of traffic, 3 lanes of traffic that they were pushing people out into, and they pushed everybody to a construction area, which went down to 1 lane of traffic. And it's like the more we drove, the worse it got. We finally got to a place where we could turn left. We did. We went down, turned to left again to try to get back to the freeway. We got to where, okay, we see it, it's there. We get up there and we drive right under the freeway that we want to be on, because there are no anything. There are no entrance ramps, no extra exit ramps, no feeder roads. There's nothing. So then we're driving on the other side of the freeway that we want to be on and looking for a road to turn and go down. And there are becoming more and more bars and hookers out on the street. So we're like, okay, this probably isn't the best neighborhood to be in either. So we finally find what looks like a pretty major road to turn and go back. And we turn again and we're heading back towards the freeway. And when we get there, we're on another road with no way to get on the freeway. So we had to go back under and keep going back the wrong direction again. We finally turn and Dax is like, okay, we've got to be getting closer because I can see the Alamo dump. And I said, well, yeah, I think that's the road we were on earlier, 30 minutes ago. So we get back on that road and we're like, yes, they aren't working the parking lot anymore. All of the officers are gone. And so we're like, okay, we'll just go up there and, we've made a little tour now. We'll get back on the road. They're funneling everybody. You have to turn right. So now we're heading south and it's not a feeder. It's you turn and you're on the entrance ramp. So now we're heading southbound on the highway we need to be going northbound on. And they have the next 2 exits closed. So now we're miles down the road before we can finally exit, make a U-turn, and get back going to where we need to go to get home. And when we exited so that we could take the road out to Wimberley, when we exited in San Marcos, they were doing some construction and I could just see the red flashing lights. I told Dax, I'm like, oh my God, I have PTSD. They're not going to let us go home, are they? But they were on the other side. It was all good. But I don't plan to go to San Antonio for a while. And I don't plan to do anything next week. I should be back, God willing, in 2 weeks, which will be the 31st. On the 30th, I go in to have a procedure. They have to dilate my cervix. When I was pregnant, they stitched it closed, nature of the pregnancy and everything as a precaution, when I was only about 10 weeks pregnant. And after the kids were born and they took the stitch out, it never opened back up all the way. And over the years closed off completely. I've had to have this done already once. And Dax has been bugging me for a couple of years to have it done. Again, because the same problems were presenting themselves. One of which is, well, I kept telling Dax, I don't need to do that because at 57, I shouldn't keep, okay, that's not true. I had a birthday. I'm 58 now. I shouldn't keep having periods. I mean, this should end soon. I've been thinking that for at least 7 or 8 years now. And yet menopause eludes me. So anyway, what it's done is everything can't get out, and then my body is trying to reject it and fight it. And, you know, I know what's going on, but of course they have to do all their tests. So right now, this has been like 4 months that waiting to get to what I want to have done in the first place, waiting to get to where we can get it done. Anyway, I go in and I have that done on Friday. I have concerns because I have to take 5 pills that morning. They've given me prescriptions that I went and got. And of the 5 pills, one of them's just for anxiety that morning, just to, you know, chill me a little bit, which is not really a big deal. You know, I'm just kind of like, I'm really uncomfortable right now. If you could just, like my uterus, when they measured an ultrasound, is as if I was about 3.5 months pregnant, which is not pleasant at all. And I just want you to fix it, you know, just please hurry and fix it. I don't have anxiety, but 3 of the pills are pain pills, which she already told me she was going to give me a local anesthetic in my cervix. So I have concerns about how much she's going to make this hurt if I have to have 3 pain pills that morning. And then the other one, I take one the night before and I take one that morning. And the directions say I'm supposed to take 1 pill per vagina. What? Is there something here I don't know? Is this a problem that, what is she going to do? But I only have 2 of those pills, so apparently, I guess I only have 1 vagina. So I guess that's all good. No confusion there, except for with me. What the heck? So anyway, that means that next Saturday, I get to still take it easy and be the patient. So I should have plenty of time to come do my floss tube. Hopefully, I won't delete it. I will only need to do it once. I'll be much more careful, that's for sure. Anyway, I should be able to do it in 2 weeks. Like I said, Lord willing. Thank you, everyone, for liking and commenting. I do appreciate them. I think I responded to everybody, or at least hearted the comments so that you would know that I've read it if it wasn't something that required a response or anything like that. I'm trying so hard to be better. Thank you for subscribing if I didn't say that already. And I appreciate y'all. So we'll see you next time. Thanks, y'all. Bye.